Tonight with local schools putting safety first by hosting a training event that simulates a crisis situation. It comes amid the growing threat of incidents like school shootings that require this sort of training. 13 WREX's Emily McMinn joins us with more. And Emily, today's training focused on reuniting students with their families in the event of a crisis. Why else was this training critical for schools?
Absolutely. Well, Derek, this training was important because school districts say they have plans and drills in place for what to do during violent emergencies or weather events, but have never really received training on what to do after when emotions may be high and safety still remains critical. When tragedy strikes, local school districts want to be ready to face the worst. That's why staff members from administration to athletics came out to Harlem High School Monday to learn vital steps when it comes to reunifying students with their families in the face of an emergency.
Because we want to make sure we're protecting our kids, right? We need to keep them safe. We need to keep them accounted for. You know, law enforcement and fire, they do their thing in these types of situations. Our job is to be responsible for their kids.
Working with local law enforcement for the training is designed to help them create plans for what school staff, students, and parents need to do in the event of an emergency.
What that process will look like in the event that we have to evacuate our building, and maybe even if it's just something that happens in our building, but it changes the structure of our day or the time that we release students.
Despite drills already being in place for these types of emergencies, officials say what happens after a tragedy is just as important.
We have drills for our response to shooter situations or to fires. You know, we practice these things, but we're just continuing to involve and really work through. But the next step for us is really reunification.
This training also pertains to events outside of just the normal school day.
Whether it be school day stuff that happens, something, you know, it could be kids on a field trip, or it could be an athletic event, or whatever it may be. So it's preparing and setting up this protocol or this response.
Although they are creating the plan now, districts know it will change as emergency situations happen.
We're continuing to learn both in the response to violent events and how we best respond and how we keep our students and staff safe in those events. But we're again learning this process of what happens after that. What happens after an event occurs.
Today's training brought together 13 school districts and private schools from around Winnebago and Boone counties. The training will also take place tomorrow as well. Back over to you, Derek.
Yeah, important to have a plan in place for those situations when emotions are so high and parents are trying to get back with their kids. Thanks.